So, Yellowjackets Season 3 is a thing that is happening, and I have some thoughts, seeing as I've been a fan for a while now, and of spooky nonsense in general. Did I mention how much I loved Nosferatu? And heck, I even enjoyed last year's Hellboy. But Yellowjackets, toward the end of the second season, was beginning to wear on me a bit. Um, there aren't a lot of characters who I necessarily like as people, shall I say. While characters like Misty, I adore, but only because I find her own brand of irrational villainy quite fun and entertaining. Um, and even that can only go so far, I think. I mean, in most grim and gritty works, there's usually some sort of sympathetic, like genuinely good person to offset the balance of crazy psychos, and that's not really the case with this. There's no Samuel Tarley, right? There's no well, Samwise Gamgee for another. No one to offset the balance of effed up craziness. Spoilers ahead, of course. Um, you heard me. Spoilers. All right. So I am glad that they finally took the time to circle back around to Thaisa's vision of the man with no eyes. I am kind of shocked to discover that it's just an ice cream mascot. Um, and what's more, it doesn't seem like they did much with that revelation. Like I understand the symbolism of going to the ice cream place and finding the fox there, and I actually enjoyed seeing that bit quite a lot. I very much appreciated that sort of mystical shaman-ish experience. Um, and I do like how Thaisa is being twisted into this cultist, um, using blood magic to save Van. But but also that does injure her character. Not that she was ever particularly sympathetic to begin with. But I digress. My my opinion of Shauna, meanwhile, has only gotten, I mean, worse, you might say. And while I think her like evil, irrational character really works, like for what it is, she's not existing in a vacuum. She's in a show where the other characters aren't much better than her, um, and she doesn't really work as like a villainous character in that sense. I guess what I'm trying to explain here is that I kind of miss Natalie right now, who, even in the flashbacks, isn't getting very much screen time or screen time at all. Really, it's like she died in the past too. Our one good main character, right? The only one who we could have, we really could root for and like, hope, wish good things for. Um, it's it's just tiring me out a little bit personally, and it doesn't help that I'm having to wait a week uh, for these episodes. Right? I mean, have you kind of noticed how the pace is very slow, very methodic, and they're building tension, and that's a good thing. But I just think it is a little weird how some peculiar thing will happen in the show, some seemingly important event, and then it'll be 100 years before that's addressed again. Which is fine. I enjoyed Twin Peaks, for God's sake. I know a thing or two about slow pacing. But it is like this show is paced more for it to be released all at once than as a on a weekly basis like we have been putting up with. It's odd in that regard. And I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but the parts that I enjoyed most in, say, the last season are kind of nowhere to be seen, which is to say, I very much adored the relationship between Misty and Walter. And I mean, just seeing Elijah Wood playing a very different character than any of the characters that he's played before. This crazy, kind of psycho murderous weirdo, who's generally just, it's just delightful to watch. And I also really enjoyed Lottie, especially in the present day. Uh, she was sort of one of my favorite characters, up there with Nat. And what do you know? They killed her too. And and I'm sure they're building up to something, like maybe with Shauna's new girlfriend in the past. She's sort of coming back into the present, maybe possibly hanging around to cause trouble, and she probably murdered Lottie, I'm guessing. But okay, it's an interesting character, a mildly interesting character. But I'm honestly just kind of hoping that she's back to kill Shauna. Um, that would, I think that would help this that would help the season a lot. Give it a nice end cap, and I think it's maybe already been foreshadowed uh, with their visions in the cave, right? And that great line about it's all a dream, or what, or it's all the same dream, or whatever. Um, how they managed to get Ella Purnell back for all the different visions and flashbacks is well beyond me, as her star is rising pretty high at the moment. And frankly, the same goes for Sophie Thatcher, the actress playing Natalie, um, which makes me wonder if that's the reason she's not in this season much. If maybe she didn't have a lot of time between filming movies and other shows and what have yous. But yeah, don't even get me started on the plot with Coach, who's fine, but the whole mock trial song and dance got on my nerves a bit, just because I think we kind of have a we I I'm pretty sure he doesn't survive uh, the past, but but it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way that had the way they dragged out his sentencing, and the way they're still dragging it out. Maybe he's going to have some sort of heroic sacrifice at some point. I don't know. Um, if nothing else, we're going to get the chance to figure out what's going on with his visions and sort of his like conversations with ghosts, maybe, and everything. Because I assume they're going to address that. Then again, there's plenty of stuff that they still haven't addressed, so I don't know. Um, I just, I do, I think it's a shame that we don't really have a hero in this show yet. Things could very well change. Maybe Van will have a redemption. Um, it would take an awful big redemption, but it's possible. Um, I also liked the llama in this season, or was it an alpaca? The thing from Twin Peaks. That was fun, and pretty much all of the weird dreams and illusions and mushroom fueled nightmares in this are quite spectacular. I think they're very fun. Uh, Good stuff. I'm also wondering where our old pal, the Wendigo spirit, has gotten off to, because you know he's out there floating around like the thing from Evil Dead, um, just waiting for the chance to strike. I say. But yeah, I know it seems like I have a lot to complain about, but that's just because I'm also watching Severance at the moment, which is consistently proving itself to be this legendary, incredible work of art that I can't really even believe exists in the world. It's quite possibly a perfect show or near perfect, and by comparison to this season of Yellowjackets, it's worlds better. So yeah, it's not making Yellowjackets look good by comparison. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I love this season in many ways, um, but I don't love it as much as I feel I should or could even. So Yeah, like and subscribe, mortals. I'll be back soon. Bye.